And we're live, Michael and Brian, and this is the weekly dev meeting, a little bit of talking about stuff that's been around, a little bit of retrospective, and perhaps voting on some stories, and basically just dealing with some Website 1 issues. Not too formal, but we're not Scrum fascists, but yet we need to take some decisions, and this is the place to be for it. Okay, I'm going to go to my screen share, and where do we want to start, guys? Let's start with the important thing about memory leaks and stuff and things. Yes, what you're seeing here on my screen, if you're seeing my screen right now. Are you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like we are the Yarrow or Sampriti enabled some sort of continuous monitoring profiling on staging, and it seems like we are standing by at 425 megabytes of memory used.
Right.
It fluctuates a little bit, and if we go back, sometimes we're down at 300 and something, but we usually never above 450 or 455.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that's all because of the Ice Cube memory leak.
Well, it's not only that. It's
What else?
What happened was, for some reason in application controller, we had this request path blacklisted. That was an array, and instead of a constant like Yarrow did now. And for some reason, that was eating a lot of memory. For every time this page was, this controller was being accessed, or called. This, this array was just growing and growing and growing for some reason, the way it was set up before.
But that shouldn't be persistent. It should have been cleaned.
Yeah, but it wasn't garbage collected for some reason. I don't know why, really. I know that Yarrow and Sampriti spoke about this for some time, and I was doing some other stuff at that time, and he changed that, and memory stabilized. So that's a good thing. Another thing we did is that we switched from Unicorn to Puma, another web server, and we were doing some settings and changing settings back and forward, and we ended up having 2 Puma workers and 3 max threads, processes at the time going, and this seems to be stable for us, and yet give us fairly decent performance on the site.
Max threads, I'm not sure if that works on our setup. Does that even change anything? I think it just runs as 1.
Well, actually, when we reboot the dyno, he takes that into consideration. You can see that in the log. That
but our Ruby version won't run threading. There are special Ruby versions to do threading, but not ours.
But I don't think that's the same threading we're talking about here. I think this is the.
That's not. I think what you're talking about, processes, should be Puma workers, and threads will be the actual threading, which is not done. But anyway, tiny detail. But
Michael, do you have a comment on this?
No, I'd have to research it.
Okay, we were experiencing slower performance with max threads up to 16 because that's the default setting. So we lowered it down to 3.
Right.
But hey, your guess is as good as mine. I didn't research that too much. This was on some reading.
Right. I'm just thinking that well, you could specify 3 threads, but I don't think that will do anything in terms of performance. Might as well be 1. Okay. But I don't know if they're actually trying to make threads, but it's not going to work for Puma at least. I need to research that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah. Okay. Small detail, but let's move on.
Yeah. We can. So anyway, what we need to do is to push, and I suggest that we do that ASAP to push whatever code we have on staging up to production. We already have Puma on production, but those small changes that Yaro introduced in the code and also some they are still not on production, and it would be good for us, to do that. So we might as well do it today.
Yeah. Do you want to go through the whole process so we have Sam look at all the changes before we push stuff to production?
Oh, that ship has sailed in this situation already, because we already pushed from staging to production once.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate because we break our workflow, but we had to do it because we, it was kind of. It wasn't good. It was a little hectic. So.
Yeah, true. Right, but since things have stabilized now, do you want to go through that? Do we have anything that?
Yeah, it's just small changes now. I mean, it's very little, and it would be better for me for us to have that. I'm gonna demo the thing, the site for Sam tomorrow at Eurasia Scrum.
Yeah. Okay.
So it would be good if we could deploy that.
Yeah, excellent. Cool.
Yes. So that would be it. Well, in terms of I'm gonna push that instance of responsive YouTube thing up to Heroku demo, so you can have a look at it. But shall we have a look at the events code together, or how do you want to do this? The pull request, that's
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can look at it together. I can't quite remember what this was supposed to be for.
Yeah. Yes. Well, this pull request includes an event instance migration with some fields that allow the event instance to exist independent of the event's template. A new start heartbeat fields to be used in place of created at and updated at,
right,
which can no longer be used to indicate the live status.
Okay. Oh yeah, he did mention this. It hasn't been started yet, the story.
It hasn't been started out, and well, that's a separate discussion that I had with him.
Yeah.
That but he said it as a chore. But whether this was a story or not, and I argued that since we are migrating things, but then he said there are changes, so it's fair enough. We the thing is that this is set up. I think the same day or same night that we had the last dev meeting, So I told him that I was hoping we could, discuss this in a dev meeting instead of just setting up a chore. But I mean, it's a. To be honest, I've done similar things. When we have small UI things, it's a small chore. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to talk about every single detail sometimes, but these are quite important things, I think, and quite big changes. So I'm not quite sure whether I approve or not, but I don't want to be alone on taking any decisions on this. So.
Right. I agree. This should have been more discussed about. John did speak with me about this. I did say, yes, this is important. But yes, I wish he would have taken it up with other members as well, not leaving me alone. But, okay, I think his basic idea is was decouple the event, like every instance, from the event, what he calls the event template, which is basically what we have as the event right now. so that you can have individual show pages for each event, and you can have separate descriptions of what happened in that event, and that will not affect the master template, as he calls it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah, I mean, I don't. These are small changes. Perhaps I don't, small. I mean, perhaps I don't approve of the way it has been, done. But I mean, the code is there, and it seems I haven't looked at it too much in terms of whether everything is well tested.
Right.
And stuff. But I guess we can explore that. But the thing is that I think there's a fundamental flaw in how events instances, or that what used to be Hangouts, how they are created. They used to be created by the Hangout connection app. When that application communicated with website 1, that's when an instance of Hangouts was created, written to stored in our database.
Yeah.
And I argue that this is absolutely a crazy way to do it, because if this connection is broken in any way, and there is no event instance or Hangout stored in the database, there will be never a record of this. It's taking place. You know what I mean? It's even if we what I argue is that we should create an event instance, in our app, then start a Hangout, and hope that this Hangout can communicate back to us with certain information, so we can update that event instance information, fields, attributes, with that info. But we shouldn't be relying on that communication being taken place, because just in the recent 2 weeks, at least on 3 or 4 occasions, that communication weren't there. It wasn't working. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So it's one thing to update attributes with this Hangout connection app. That's perfectly fine with me. Although it shouldn't be done the way it is done now, because every 3 minutes or it's communicating. I think that's with a lot of Hangouts, simultaneous Hangouts, that there will be too much
database.
And too much requests done to our server. But still, I mean, I think it could be like a button in the panel that the host of the Hangout could press the button, just send an update to website 1 once, for instance, or we can wait 3 minutes into a Hangout and then just send it off. But we don't have to communicate. This whole idea of a heartbeat, that we constantly communicate between the Hangout and website 1, so other people can see, almost in real life, real time, that the Hangout is still live and going on. I think that's way too much functionality, and it's unnecessary for us. And it's.
But if we want to reflect the real status on the website, like this Hangout is still active, we need that heartbeat.
But I don't think we need that functionality.
I think Sam would like to have that. Have you discussed this with Sam?
I have discussed this with Sam, and I told him that we can have certain information updated live, but not all the time.
So, for example, our current way of rendering the link to the next Scrum or Hangout, I mean, the currently live Scrum, is we put just 15 minutes fixed. If we want to improve that, how are we going to do it? I think the heartbeat is the best way.
Well, I don't necessarily agree to that, because the best. We also have to think about our resources. We are running this site on a shoestring here.
That sort of polling period is not gonna take a lot of resources, to be honest. It's just like another person visiting a site. We don't have enough traffic to worry about this.
But it did. When we had this update, this Ajax update every 10 seconds, the application died on us instantly.
That was because of the memory leak, which we identified and hopefully have fixed. But yeah, this that shouldn't have been a problem. Like the heartbeat shouldn't be the problem. It was our memory leak that was the problem,
Okay.
not the heartbeat. So I don't think it is right to blame the.
Oh no, I'm not saying.
Ajax.
Let's separate this from
Yeah,
people and
but
stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I don't. Okay, fair enough. I say like this. We can have all that when we have a model and a workflow of creating event instances, and we can offer our visitors, and there are not many, the basic functionality. Then yes, we can add that later on. But I wouldn't. The only crucial thing here, the business critical information that is needed from the Hangout is not who participates in a Hangout, or whether the Hangout is live for every second. The only thing we need to know is the link to the Hangout and the link to the live stream of the Hangout, YouTube stream. These two pieces of information is the only one that I think are required by our model, business model. Anything else is just fancy stuff that we can potentially add, but let us have the basic functionality in place first.
Okay. So what are you proposing then?
Well, I'm proposing that first of all, we need to find a way to create instance. I mean, I think that everything should be based on event instance models now. Like our events index page, the main page where we show events and stuff like that. But I think we should continue use the event model for events that are reoccurring, that has different, a lot of instances, right? But the events that only happens once, they should be only stored in the event instance, created in a way that allows us to store all the basic info we have about them. And so we can show them to people, the upcoming ones and the past ones, and the ones that are current, I guess, and then update them through this Hangout Connection app once or twice, and basically just move on.
So what if you press the Hangout button once, but then you don't actually carry out the Scrum? You will have a record there that's not doing anything.
Well, I say, at the very end of each Scrum or each Hangout, or whatever you're doing online, I think that's when we could send off some information about how long the Hangout was, who participated, and stuff like that, because all that data is stored and it's accessible through the GAPI, the Google API, and that info is already gathered by Website 1, but all the time. So if you go to we can go to agileventures.org Hangouts, and we can see that this meeting that we are having right now, it's been on for 25 minutes, and we have obviously we have 2 people, but we don't know who it is, and I don't know why we don't know who it is. But there is probably.
Oh yeah, that's probably me about linking.
I haven't linked my Google.
Yeah, I haven't linked.
I signed in to the website one with GitHub.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, same with me. I probably should sign in with Google.
And I had a 4-hour pair programming session today.
Wow, that's a long one.
Yeah, alone, obviously, because Sasha wasn't there, according to this. So so that's what I mean. A little bit. Again, I'm not saying that this is bad in any way, but I don't think this should have made all the way to production, because this is a this is an experiment, and what we would need here is a simple interface telling us that we started a Hangout, and how long it was, perhaps what project it belongs to, and stuff like that. All the other stuff, like who participated, and other info, is a little, it's a luxury that we obviously don't know how to handle, because we're not gathering that information in the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say let's keep it simple, the minimal thing we need, and then after a while we can refactor, redo, add new features.
Right.
For instance, I this join button here, I know that it's supposed to be gray, so it's kind of disabled, but still, it's also a UI flaw, I think. It just shouldn't be there. For instance, and there was this tooltip thing. I know it seems to be gone now. It was here yesterday. When you were hovering over, and you showed those. I think I spoke to you about this last time.
Yeah, you did.
It was something about user rating and stuff like that. That these are features that we don't even have in this time. So, given the whole picture here, I think that what we should focus on is making the events instance model the main star of this epic, and we should create like scrums that are reoccurring. We should find a way to create instances of them, and we have to decide how to do that. And also, I mean, if I have set up Eurasia Scrum for the next upcoming year, of course we don't want to create those instances at the same time, but are we gonna create them like 5 days ahead of time, or 3 days, or whatever? We have to set up some rules for that, I think.
Right. Okay. But don't we have that with IceCube and stuff?
Well, I say that IceCube is just it just creates a schedule and attach that to events mode, so we can keep that. We can just iterate through it. We can say like the schedule for the next upcoming 3 days or something, and just go over that and create instances for those days. And then you can forget about the events model. You just go ahead and deal with the event instances instead. So I don't see the IceCube as a problem. Actually, we are getting a lot of stuff for free. we can create those schedules. We can create exceptions, and store them. So even if a Scrum is about to happen every Wednesday or every day of the week, we can create an exception for if it's Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve and stuff like that. So it's a good scheduling tool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a good tool for what we want to do with it, in terms of being able to store information about each and individual instance. So that's where event instance model comes in.
Okay.
But most of all, we have to find somebody that we want to take a lead on this story.
Right. But I don't. Well, so what do you see that should be changing in the event instance right now then?
Well,
what do you think is missing?
First of all, as I said before, the only way for us to create event instances, the way they are created, this is the way when from what I understand now, when Hangouts connection app talks to website 1, it makes a call to this event instances controller, and he finds, you know, or creates an event instance, you know. So
yeah,
and I don't think that's the proper way. Again, as I said before, I think that we should, you know, we should start them ourselves, and they just update them through the Hangout connection application. But I don't. I know that.
I don't know what the real difference is, because once you've started it,
when you wait a second. When you press the button, you don't create an event instance.
Right.
You only create a Hangout. It's the Hangout that creates the event instance when it starts to communicate with it.
Okay. Is that's what's happening now?
Yes.
And then what do you want happening?
Well, I want to start. I want to start that event instance from website 1.
Okay. So you want to replace Hangouts with event instance.
Well, that's already done. We need to update,
oh, yeah.
to make changes to the methods. You know how it is done.
Wait, so I'm a bit confused now, because
okay, the main reason why I want to create them first and then start a Hangout is that when the Hangout connection application isn't working, when for some reason Google fucks up, or you know, then in this Hangout events instance table, there won't be a trace of a Hangout. You know what I mean? It will never be created. That's the downside. That's a pitfall for us.
Yeah, but the other downside to creating it first is you will have an invalid event instance then, won't you?
Well, when you say invalid, you mean it will be started, but it will not have all the attributes, right?
Something like that. And also, what if the Scrum doesn't actually happen? And then it's just hanging there.
Yes.
So both have their disadvantages. I don't see any big reason for us to move to the other one. What we could do to resolve that issue is to have an ability to create a new event instance without clicking the Hangout button or receiving any Hangout information. Just to put in information, like add the links and everything for something that wasn't created automatically. That could be another solution, because I don't see a good reason to, you know, change the entire architecture if we're just gonna have as much problems. Because we'll end up having to maintain the hanging event instances, which we need to, I don't know, have like a rake task to clean it up and everything. Again, both need some level of maintenance. So unless there's a real like benefit to moving there, if there's a really robust, you know, way to create the Hangouts, I don't think we should introduce that level of refactoring.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with everything, because you know there are ways to not make them visible, like, you know, if they're not updated, you know.
And
but
it's
of course,
as well, where there's a way to, you know, get back the lost information.
Well, what I would argue, Brian, is like it's easier for us to take a lot of information and clean that from you know, instances that are not valid, than take, you know, if this communication between Hangout connection doesn't work, that information is lost forever. There's no way for us to retrieve that.
Okay, then.
You know what I mean? It's just
So what will happen if that communication doesn't happen anyway? You don't receive the ping, and you will have an invalid event instance, but you are not, which isn't validated by, you know, the communication with a Hangout. So you still have to go back and then add the information, don't you?
Yes.
It's still the same problem.
But I hear what you're saying. But what you could at least do then is, when it's, you know, when it's there, you can go in afterwards and you can link to the YouTube recording. You can there are stuff that's still the stuff you can do to retain the business value of this instance of this event. You know what I mean? While if it's gone, it's gone. And we don't have a mechanism today to create them manually.
That's why I'm saying that instead of overthrowing the entire architecture, why not just add the mechanism to create it? Because you still have to do the same thing.
All right.
If the communication doesn't work, you have to go back and do something, either updating an invalid instance or creating a new valid instance.
Okay.
So either way,
that's a middle ground. I think that we can agree upon. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Of course, it's your idea. It's great, my brother. Come on.
Don't say that. Come on.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's crap.
No, but it's basically yes. Of course, I agree totally. Let's do that instead of overthrowing an entire architecture. But
again, but you are right. There is a lot of things happening in this whole event instance Hangout event thing that we're not clear about. I think we need some place. I don't know if we have any place that we can document this model somewhere, because we need to one day have a look at it and see what we can improve, because we are I think we just don't have enough visibility on what's happening with how the models are communicating, because it's quite complex now.
Yeah, so and I remember even before I left, I think Raphael were doing this event reaching service, and I don't even know where that fits in anymore into everything right now.
No, I can't remember either, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's another thing I was considering. You remember back in the good old days, you and I worked on creating this little update URL to the Hangout form.
Oh yeah.
Looks something like this here now. We created I think when this page was initially designed, you helped me with adding this link. It was all manual back then. The thing is that I was looking at that today because of something, and there are some tests for this. It's called update only URL. There's a patch, and it's in our yeah. But I don't, perhaps I'm stupid, perhaps I'm missing something, but I don't think this is used anymore. I think that has been rewritten, and what you're seeing here is something completely different. And I'm just thinking, this whole describe,
All right. I mean, if it's never used, then let's get rid of it.
Of course, but
But we're definitely sure it's not used.
We're not. So I'm gonna research that. The only thing, what I'm trying to say here is if it's not used, why would those tests be still around?
Legacy code, I guess.
Okay, yeah. And I'm a little worried, but that's I really tried to understand this whole event thing, and it's not easy. It's stuff, and also that's why I'm a little bit frustrated. When I see pull requests with updates, a lot of text, and I've seen a lot of documentation about this on website 1, and I really can't understand half of it anymore. So that makes me feel stupid, and I don't like that. No, I'm kidding. But it's and I don't feel we are moving forward. And also there are so much changes done, and I see that there are some scar tissue all over the application with, for instance, tests that are stubbed, and not used anymore and stuff like that. And that worries me.
That's a good point. There should have been an integration test that caught this, in fact, or it might have been fixed, but they forgot to update this corresponding test. But yeah.
But okay, so
but this happens. Like this happens when you remove code and change stuff. So yeah, we should get rid of it if we've noticed dead code.
But let's find a way to you know, let's find a way to move forward. And you know, I know you're busy and I'm busy and everybody's busy, and but we need to get this fixed. And
yeah, I think we should try and hold a proper dev meeting. I really think that the past few dev meetings there have been too few voices. It's just me and you, basically. So we need as much of the other Website 1 team on board. Then we can discuss something like this. Because I don't feel it's right that it's just the two of us speaking for the rest of the project, for the whole project.
Absolutely. But you know, my response to that is going to be that yes, this is the second meeting with only you and me and Michael this time. But 3 weeks ago we were 3 people, I think, and and you know, but you know, things are posted on the website, and you know. We need to kind of, you know, I mean, I can't force people to come here, and I can't force people to work on this project, and I understand that there's been a lot of, you know, controversy lately, and you know, if people don't want to work on this project, I can respect that, and we, you know, it's okay, but I mean, I'm not unreasonable, you know, it's okay to reason with me. And you know, if I ask for simple, you know, let's just stick with a method and, you know, the workflow that we all agreed upon at one time. I don't have to feel that I'm being you know, an asshole or anything. I'm just asking for simple things. And also, a lot of the controversy we had was because I was pointing out, and that's my, you know, I was pointing out some stuff that I wasn't completely, you know, happy with that happened during the summer. And again, I said that to Sam and to other people. The more questions I asked, I sensed a more and more hostile attitude, you know, and you know, I don't want to compromise on certain things. It's just that, you know.
Fair enough.
So if you know, it's like this for me, to be honest. If it's only you and me that has to do those things, or even me, if you're too busy, I'm gonna do it, you know, and I'm gonna grab some new students and I'm gonna pair with them, and I'm gonna bang my head against the wall and do it as right as I can. But I won't give in to you know, just merge it in and let's move on, move forward attitude, you know, because I don't buy that. And when I see somebody writing that to me, saying that to my face, just merge it in, don't ask questions, I rather just close that pull request and never merge that code in, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
That's me.
All right. Well, it's good to hear your point of view on things. I've honestly been a bit more lenient when I review stuff. But yeah, maybe I should be tightening things up. We should sync our expectations for pull requests.
I mean, we are all different people, but you know.
What are the issues anyway? I haven't worked on Website 1 and.
Well, I think there's been too many changes and not that many people are aware of it. I think that's the root of the problem, really. Lots of new features, but now those people are not here with us, at least actively.
To maintain it.
Yeah. So it's just, to us at least, dead code. We don't know what it's doing, but we're going to break something, we change it, so we'll need to resync.
Yeah, so
you guys can't figure out what it's doing, or?
Well, we can. We haven't sat down yet and actually give it a fair shot, but
yeah, we roughly know what it's doing, but then I think eventually you want to clean it up and make it more easier for other people to understand.
To keep it really simple, what happened is we had a guy that took ownership of this great epic with events, you know, a lot of refactoring, a lot of adding new features and stuff. And what he did was something that perhaps John did a similar thing in local support once. He did this enormous spike and presented it, you know, as a semi-finished solution. And I told him that, yeah, it's a great spike. Now let's stick to the workflow. Let's do one story at a time. You know, just keep working through the stories in Pivotal Tracker. And he was like, oh shoot, that wasn't good, because he put a lot of time into and effort into that spike, and I can understand that. But we do have our way to manage this project, as local support is managed by Sam. And so the next thing he does, he creates a story, or you know, in Pivotal Tracker, and he immediately, you know, starts that story, and he immediately delivers some code because he has that code in the spike, you know.
Okay, but stories are supposed to come from the client.
Yeah. So, and I tell him that, listen, hold your horses there, brother, you know, and we have this workflow, you know, client.
I mean, if he had a spike, then he should have shown it to Sam.
And he did. And we were receiving some 500 errors first, and you know, blah blah blah. And then after a while, it was working, and Sam said it's great. Let's just work our way through the, you know, through the tracker. I mean, it was just a spike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the guy gets a little frustrated. But the thing is that when I was away and Brian was working a lot, I was gone over the summer, Michael, and you know, stuff were done a little more ad hoc in this project. You know, people were doing some features, writing some code. Oh, this looks cool. Let's merge it in. You know, and actually, I was telling Brian this, one of those guys that came in during the summer. You know, I never worked with him. He had
who was allowed to merge in? Like who has
Brian was doing that. So he's a little bit guilty, but to his defense,
not a little bit. I'm guilty for everything, really.
Well,
I should have been keeping an eye out on things, but I haven't.
Well, you did keep up, but you kind of lost focus a little bit of the big picture with you know, with this whole agile method that we're trying to do here. You know, basically to make a long story short, we ended up with a lot of code that is great, but it's way too experimental. You know, in production, and I don't have a full understanding of everything. And that worries me a lot, and you know, and I get a little frustrated, and I try to it took me a few weeks to understand that not everything was documented. I was trying to find stories that had to do with this Hangout connection app and the way Hangout model, what is now Events Instance, how that was initiated, and I just can't find it. It's not here in Pivotal Tracker, you know. So it's frustrating. And so now we need somebody that is, you know, interested in digging into this legacy code and making a good thing out of this. And to be honest, I can't do it because I don't understand half of it, and I don't have enough, you know, system development competence to do this. And I'm, you know. So I'm the first one to admit my weaknesses, but I can't be the one to take the lead on this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I should pitch in. I'd like to. It's just that I have a lot more other stuff on my mind. In fact, I have lots of other legacy code to deal with now at work, and it's driving me nuts. So I just can't come back home and deal with another set of legacy code. Yeah.
So Michael, the buck stops with you. No.
Well, I think if I don't work on local support, nothing's going to happen over there.
Yeah, true. I think since we have a bunch of new members, try and get them interested, and then spring the trap on them.
Yeah.
Legacy code, no.
Or we can,
but,
we could do another thing. It's but I'm not so. I just want to say it. But we could merge in his spike. We can allow him to fulfill this because, and I will hate myself for it. I would probably need to take a very long shower afterwards. But what I feel now is like we've been pushed to a point where we are so heavily invested in this, and it doesn't really matter anymore whether it's been done the agile way or not.
right.
And but I'm saying this, and I know this could be a a possibility for us to get out of this situation, but I will hate myself for it later on because this is not the way I want to work in this project.
No, I think, to be honest, whether or not we merge it, we still have to rethink about the whole system.
Yeah.
Which is why, yeah, I was planning on merging this anyway. I don't think there's any reason for me to close it, because eventually we're gonna have to revise everything anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's sit on that last pull request first, please. Yeah. I have a few comments to do.
Right. Sure. I don't think I'm gonna merge it just yet, but yes. Another thing is I'd like to bring more guys in, hopefully, for the next dev meeting. Then we can discuss this whole epic if anyone's interested, and we just keep that discussion going. I think this was done too much in isolation. We didn't know many of us didn't know what's happening, and it's unfair that that knowledge is kept to only a few people. I mean, he's spoken to me, but just me, maybe. That's unfortunate because I don't know.
He's spoken to me a few times as well,
Yeah.
But again, these things we need to pair program on them. It's another thing if you just do a small refactoring thing or whatever. But this stuff needs to be done in pair because we're gonna produce better code. I think,
absolutely.
and I see flaws in this one. That I believe shouldn't be there if there were two sets of eyes watching the code being written.
I agree.
And also, I don't know how they do in the Austria project, but you see, I hear them chat all the time on Slack, but I haven't seen a single pair programming session recorded. So it's kind of weird for me. I still think that code review is a great thing, but pair programming is much better.
No, absolutely, I agree.
Michael, you do a lot of pair programming, right?
Yeah, with Marion.
Yeah.
On level support.
Yeah, and how do you feel? I mean, have you followed the other projects? Anything?
Well, I think about a year ago I worked some on auto graders.
But they were also doing a lot of pair programming back then.
Yeah, I was pairing with Paul. And
Yeah. That's something that we should try and encourage that sort of behavior in the next batch of students. We definitely want pair programming. Pair programming is good. It's not necessarily perfect. Perhaps John had some bad experiences. That's why from what I heard at least, he's saying it's too slow. I mean, I get that feeling sometimes, but now I've learned to love it. You get a lot more out of pair programming, even though you move slower, your quality is a lot better. Like a lot better.
Yeah, it's more social, it's more fun, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes it fun.
I didn't like it at first. I didn't like it at first at all.
Yeah. So
like the first couple months of local support was done basically by me alone.
But I also felt it was really intimidating to start with, and I thought Sam was being an asshole for everything needs to be so TDD all the time. But I love it now. I think it's great, and I think Sam is one of the most reasonable people I've ever met, actually. And he's a great teacher, I think. So I learned a lot. I've done some work on local support too. Not so much, but I think you still have to struggle with a lot of my front-end designs, Michael?
It's not that bad, really.
Yeah, they've gotten rid of everything already. Don't worry, Thomas.
No, I've seen my code. I did git blame on some files, and I know I'm still around.
I had to try to figure out last week what your the bootstrap the one, the login.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to like get it to switch.
Yeah. There's some JavaScript there that takes care of that.
Yeah, I ended up just basically using jQuery to click on it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I heard you guys talking about it. There was something about a link being on top and you wanted it at the bottom and stuff.
Yeah, we still have to do that.
Yeah.
I still have to do that.
And that's not as easy as he tried to picture it in that Scrum. But I can help you out with that, and I know exactly how to do it. But it's just a visibility thing. You just turn on, you just toggle that. Yeah. So, but it's cool. Yeah. So you guys want to vote on something? We should vote on at least one story so Christopher can start working.
Okay.
And
which stories?
That is the project's index page redesign. I mean, he's a front end guy, and I really want to show you guys the wireframes he made for the index page.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So here it is. He wants to.
Wow.
Yes. And we have to split that out in a few stories, probably.
I'm not sure how you can split this out. It is one page.
Well, but the search feature could be a separate story.
Well, if you're gonna improve it, I think we have some basic search functionality in there. We'll just leave that. Sorting, obviously, yes.
We don't have.
So those features.
Excuse me. We don't have any searching on.
Oh well, we have a filtering, a kind of filtering, don't we?
We do know.
No.
No.
Is it? Oh wait, that was sorry, uses. That was the uses page. Sorry. Yeah, not for project.
And on my Spike we had a certain. You remember? You helped me out with this. I was spiking this up a long time ago, and I created a filtering on this so we could view.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
But anyway.
Fancy thing.
We don't have that now, and let's see, where is that? Well, just disappeared from me. Where is that? There it is. Okay. So yes, the search, the sorting, and also we need to add a attribute to the model about having a cover image, and that requires carrier wave and image uploader, and we have to configure S3 or.
But do you remember?
I remember.
When we suggested that long ago. Yes. We don't have the money to, post on S3.
But the thing is that we can do it for free with Dropbox. It's 5 gigabyte, and it's really for free. It's not even like 1 year and then you have to pay, but Dropbox is free.
Okay.
So I can get that to work, but I know, that Sam was like, no local storage or anything, a year ago, or at least 9 months ago. But I think I can persuade him to do that now.
Okay, but so because that's not even decided on, we can't vote on the image part. So how are you planning to split this up?
Well, yes, good point.
Because I think that's quite central, the image. I agree, we should have had image a long time ago. It's just, but if we have something from Dropbox that could be free, why not? That's perfect.
What I did now, for instance, on the website 1 project, since we introduced this new field called pitch that is editable in rich text format, so we have this original description that can take. You can add HTML to it. And here this is the About tab, for the project. So I add like a video here, and we have some, a lot of text here. So this is the landing page for website 1, and I don't think other guys have actually updated their projects yet. What is it? Oslo, yeah. So I think that what we could potentially use here is if there is an image in that pitch, field, that because I can link to a YouTube video and I can link to another image someplace. Then if there is an image, we could pull that image out and use it on the project's index page, basically. So we don't necessarily have to have storage. You know what I mean? We could still.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Why not just have ability to set a URL as the image?
We could
rather
do that,
than being too smart and looking for the first image in description. That could be a quick fix, but
that's a quick fix, yeah.
Yeah, that is a quick fix, but yeah, we need to discuss with Sam if that's what he wants. Like,
I'm gonna show him this wireframe tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
okay.
we're not gonna vote on this one.
Yeah, no. But you can vote on any other time. I think so far has not really been a dev meeting, so if you could get enough Website 1 members together in one scrum, just vote. I think we don't have the resources to I mean the luxury to keep voting on on a fixed time.
Another thing we can discuss, perhaps not necessarily vote on, is also Christopher. I'm sorry. He proposed that we, instead of sending emails, through Hire Me button or whatever, we implement an internal messaging system. So, registered members can send messages to each other, and in some corner cases, perhaps even visitors can send messages, but they won't, there won't be a notification through email, but rather a message. You get a notification when you log in next time.
Okay, so what is the advantage of having this over Slack? We're using Slack a lot. All of our members are. The AV students are also using Slack. Why would we want to introduce a new messaging system?
Good point.
I would say Sampriti has a bot that communicates with our Slack. Hook that up and give it the ability to send messages to a certain channel, maybe a specific channel, so we don't have that polluting the rest of the nice channels. Something like that. So I would suggest that instead of this, because this is a lot to work with. It's another epic, and frankly, this application is already growing too large. We need to slow things down a bit. And focus on the events epic and redesign. That's good. That's good.
Cool.
Enough.
Okay, well, good, valid points. Let's bring it up in the next meeting, or if you wanna make some comments.
I can make a comment in the story.
That's good.
Yeah, I haven't been using Pivotal much, so forgive me for that.
Yeah, you're forgiven, my son. You're forgiven. What else? Well, it's too bad that he's not here, because he wanted to be here. I know for a fact, Christopher, because he wanted to take part in some voting, or at least discuss some features.
Yeah.
I guess this time is not doesn't suit him too well.
That's unfortunate.
Well, there's not much for us to do. I could use some help in a pair programming session later tonight if you're up for it.
I'll see. I need to sort out some dinner and stuff. But what are you going to be working on?
I started this little feature about that the user can set current status and availability. I can walk you through it, but basically what I need is a form. I needed to create a form that is on a user's profile page, and I want to store a new status in a table with his ID as an identifier, unique foreign key, and I run into some trouble there. I would need you.
Sorry, which story is that again?
User can set current status.
Availability status. Right, available means what?
That is available to pair or contribute
okay.
or stuff like that.
Right. Interesting. When did we discuss this story? I don't remember it at all.
I can check. Oh, there's a lot of Thomas here. Yeah. Thomas added this feature, moved this feature, edited, estimated this feature. Well, the 10th of September, actually, we voted on it.
Right.
September 10th. It was created September 3rd.
Okay. Okay, fine. Maybe I just forgot, but.
You must have forgotten. Listen, I don't add stories, I don't estimate them in my sleep either,
All right.
Yes.
Got it.
Cool. But, well, if you're around later, I can...
Just ping me on Slack if you're about to work on it.
Sure.
I think I'll need another hour or so.
Are you going to be online, Michael, as well?
Yeah, it depends on when it is, because I'm probably going to pair with Marion on a spike.
Okay. Well, I need to grab something to eat. Perhaps I ping you later and perhaps ask you for help as well, if Brian's not available.
All right.
Cool. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Not much else to say. I talk to you later on.
All
right.
Thanks for being with us, Michael. You're more than welcome to join the team anytime you want. You know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Take it easy.
All right.
All right.